Two people can be the same age, live equally busy lives, and even eat similar foods, yet one struggles with a growing waistline while the other remains naturally lean. Why? The difference is not always genetics, expensive supplements, or hours inside a gym. Often, it is hidden inside the smallest daily habits. In Japan, many people practice simple routines that control portions, increase movement, protect muscle, improve sleep, and prevent mindless eating. These habits do not attack belly fat overnight. They quietly change the conditions that allow it to accumulate. Start using these 6 habits today, because after 50, your daily routine matters more than ever. Stop eating before you feel completely full. The first habit appears almost too simple to make a difference, but simple does not mean powerlessness. In Okinawan culture, there is a well-known expression, hara hachibu. It is commonly understood as eating until you feel about 80% full, instead of continuing until your stomach feels completely packed. This is not starvation. It is not skipping meals. It is not forcing yourself to survive on tiny portions while thinking about food all day. It is the habit of ending a meal when hunger has disappeared, rather than waiting until physical discomfort tells you that you have eaten too much. That difference may seem small during one meal, but repeated every day, it can become enormous. Many people do not stop eating because their body still needs food. They stop because the plate is empty, the television program ends, the restaurant portion is finished, or the food no longer tastes exciting. Your stomach may have received enough energy several minutes earlier, but your attention was somewhere else. This becomes especially important after 50. As people grow older, their daily movement may gradually decrease. They may spend more time sitting, drive instead of walking, avoid stairs, or stop doing physically demanding tasks. At the same time, muscle can slowly decline when it is not regularly challenged. That means the amount of energy your body uses may change, even though your portions remain exactly the same. You are eating the way you ate at 35, but you may no longer be moving the way you moved at 35. Nothing dramatic happens after one dinner. The change arrives quietly. An extra spoonful here, a second helping there, a snack eaten because it is available rather than because you are hungry. A few hundred unnecessary calories may not feel significant today, but the body remembers repeated patterns. This is how two people of the same age can slowly develop very different waistlines. One person eats until satisfied. The other eats until fullness becomes pressure. The Japanese-inspired solution is not to obsessively count every calorie. It is to create a pause before automatically reaching for more. Halfway through your meal, put down your chopsticks, fork, or spoon. Take one slow breath. Ask yourself a simple question. Am I still physically hungry, or am I only continuing because the food is here? That question can expose the difference between hunger and momentum. Momentum is responsible for more overeating than many people realize. You begin eating quickly because you are hungry. Then your hunger decreases, but your hand continues moving at the same speed. The body is changing, but the behavior has not caught up. This is why eating more slowly matters. Your meal should not feel like a race against the clock. Chew properly. Notice the temperature. Notice the texture. Let each mouthful finish before preparing the next one. When you slow down, you give your body more time to register the meal. Research has found that slower eating is associated with lower energy intake compared with faster eating. But there is another advantage that is rarely discussed. Slow eating can make a moderate portion feel like a complete experience. Fast eating makes food disappear. You look down, the plate is empty, and your mind asks, "Was that all?" The body may have received enough, but the mind barely noticed the meal, so it asks for more. When you eat slowly, the same plate creates more moments of taste, satisfaction, and awareness. You are not only feeding your stomach, you are allowing your brain to experience being fed. Try this during your next meal. Serve slightly less than you normally would. Do not bring the entire cooking pot to the table. Place one balanced portion in front of you and put the remaining food away. Then eat without scrolling through your phone. You do not need complete silence, but you do need enough attention to notice what your body is saying. When the first feeling of comfortable satisfaction appears, stop for 2 minutes. Do not immediately decide that you need more. Drink a little water. Continue the conversation. Let the meal settle. After 2 minutes, ask whether genuine hunger remains. Sometimes it will, and that is fine. Take a little more. But many times, you will discover that the desire for a second portion has passed. It was not hunger. It was a habit. The goal is not to leave the table feeling deprived. The goal is to leave feeling light, satisfied, and capable of moving comfortably. You should be able to stand up without needing to loosen your clothing. You should feel nourished rather than defeated. You should not need to lie down, because digestion has taken control of your entire body. This habit also changes how you think about pleasure. Many people believe that more food creates more pleasure, but after the point of satisfaction, the pleasure often decreases while the heaviness increases. The first bites may be delicious. The final unnecessary bites may be automatic. Harahachi teaches that enjoyment does not need to end in excess. You can love your food and still stop. You can appreciate a meal without proving that appreciation by finishing everything in sight. You can save the rest for tomorrow. For 1 week, do not focus on losing weight. Focus only on recognizing the moment when hunger ends. That is your first victory. When you repeatedly stop at comfortable satisfaction, you begin reducing excess without creating a constant feeling of punishment. And habits that do not feel like punishment are the habits you can maintain. Do not underestimate this. A smaller waist is rarely created by one heroic decision. It is created by hundreds of ordinary moments when you quietly say, "I have had enough." Build a Japanese-style meal. Instead of eating one large main dish. The second habit changes what your plate looks like before it changes your body. Many modern meals are built around one large, heavy item. A giant bowl of pasta, a large burger with fries, a deep plate of rice covered with a rich sauce. Several slices of pizza are eaten directly from the box. The problem is not that these foods can never be enjoyed. The problem is that when one calorie-dense food occupies almost the entire meal, it becomes easy to eat a great deal of energy before the stomach receives enough volume, protein, or fiber to feel satisfied. Traditional Japanese-inspired meals often create a different experience. Instead of one enormous main dish, the meal may include several modest components: vegetables, soup, a protein source, a smaller serving of rice, and perhaps something fermented or pickled. The variety makes the table feel abundant, even though each serving is controlled. This is important psychologically. A person may feel deprived looking at one tiny portion on an otherwise empty plate, but the same amount of food divided into several colorful components can feel complete and generous. The eyes see variety. The mouth experiences different textures. The meal lasts longer. Satisfaction does not depend entirely on the size of one item. You can apply this principle without buying special Japanese ingredients. You do not need expensive seafood. You do not need imported products. You do not need to copy another culture perfectly. You only need to build your meal around balance. Begin with vegetables. Try to let vegetables occupy a meaningful part of the meal, not a decorative spoonful added at the end. They can be steamed, roasted, grilled, lightly stir-fried, or served in soup. Use vegetables you actually enjoy. There is no prize for forcing yourself to eat something you hate for 3 days and then returning to your old routine. Choose cabbage, carrots, spinach, cucumber, mushrooms, peppers, green beans, eggplant, broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, or whatever is affordable and available where you live. Vegetables provide volume. Volume matters because the stomach responds not only to calories but also to the physical presence of food. A large serving of vegetables can help a meal feel substantial without requiring every bite to be highly calorie-dense. Next, include a useful source of protein. After 50, protecting muscle becomes extremely important. Protein alone does not build muscle, and eating huge quantities is unnecessary. But including a reasonable protein source in meals can support fullness and help provide the building materials your body needs. Your protein might come from fish, eggs, chicken, tofu, lentils, beans, yogurt, cottage cheese, or lean meat. Again, this is not about perfection. It is about preventing a common meal pattern, eating mostly refined carbohydrates, feeling temporarily full, and then becoming hungry again soon afterward. Now add a moderate serving of a carbohydrate you enjoy. This could be rice, potatoes, whole grain bread, oats, noodles, corn, or another staple. Carbohydrates are not automatically responsible for belly fat. The total pattern matters. The portion matters. What you eat with them matters. Turning every food into an enemy usually creates anxiety, not long-term control. A small bowl of rice beside vegetables, soup, and protein creates a different meal from a giant bowl of rice covered in oil with almost nothing else. The ingredients may be the same, the structure is different. That structure changes how quickly you eat, how satisfied you feel, and how easy it is to control the total portion. Soup can also be helpful. A light vegetable, miso style, chicken, lentil, or broth-based soup creates warmth and slows the beginning of the meal. It encourages you to sit down. It gives your stomach time to recognize that eating has begun. But be aware that packaged soups and sauces may contain a great deal of sodium. You do not need to avoid salt completely, but you should not confuse an extremely salty processed meal with a traditional balanced pattern. The larger lesson is this: do not ask only, "What food must I remove?" Ask, "What can I add that makes overeating less likely?" Add vegetables, add protein, add soup, add color, add texture, add a clear serving instead of eating directly from a package. These additions can naturally reduce the space available for excessive portions of highly processed foods. There is also a useful order you can test. Begin with the vegetables, soup, or protein rather than immediately attacking the largest portion of rice, bread, or noodles. You do not need to follow a rigid rule at every meal. The purpose is simply to avoid arriving at the most calorie-dense part of the meal while your hunger is at its strongest. When you take the edge off your hunger with vegetables, broth, and protein, you may find it easier to enjoy a moderate amount of everything else. Another Japanese-inspired principle is visual simplicity. Use a normal bowl instead of the largest bowl in your kitchen. Use a plate that gives your food clear boundaries. Large plates can make reasonable portions appear disappointingly small. Smaller plates and bowls make the same serving appear more complete. This is not about tricking yourself. It is about removing the visual pressure to fill an unnecessarily large space. Restaurants understand this in the opposite direction. They use large servings to create the feeling of value. Your body does not care how much value was piled onto the plate. It must still process everything you eat. At home, your goal is not to create the largest possible meal. Your goal is to create a meal that supports the life you want after eating it. Do you want energy? Do you want to walk comfortably? Do you want to sleep well? Do you want to avoid the heavy crash that steals the rest of your evening? Then build the plate for that purpose. A useful dinner might include grilled fish or beans, a large serving of vegetables, a small bowl of rice, and a light soup. A useful breakfast might include eggs or yogurt, fruit, oats, and a few nuts. A useful lunch might include chicken or tofu, vegetables, and a moderate portion of potatoes or rice. These are only examples. The exact food can change according to your culture, budget, health needs, and preferences. The principle remains the same. Many simple components, sensible portions, and mostly minimally processed ingredients. Do not expect one bowl of vegetables to transform your waist. The power comes from repetition. When your regular meals become more balanced, you rely less on willpower. You do not spend the afternoon fighting hunger because lunch contained almost no protein. You do not attack the cupboard at night because dinner was too small to satisfy you. You do not need a perfect diet. You need meals that make the next good decision easier. That is what a balanced Japanese-inspired plate can do. It creates fullness without heaviness, variety without excess, pleasure without losing control. And when that becomes your normal way of eating, the waistline begins receiving a different message every day. Walk for 10 minutes after your meals. The third habit does not require a gym membership. It does not require special clothing. It does not require an hour of free time. It begins in 10 minutes. After you finish a meal, stand up and walk. Many people treat eating as the end of movement. They finish dinner, move directly to the sofa, turn on a screen, and remain almost completely still for the rest of the evening. The meal may be over, but the body has just begun processing it. A short walk changes what happens next. In many Japanese neighborhoods, walking is naturally built into daily life. People may walk to a station, a local shop, a school, a restaurant, or a nearby service. The movement is not always called exercise. It is simply transportation and routine. This is one reason daily lifestyle movement matters so much. People often believe physical activity only counts when it happens inside a gym, while wearing exercise clothes for a perfectly measured period. That belief makes movement feel difficult. If you cannot complete a full workout, you do nothing. But the body does not reject movement because it was not officially labeled exercise. Walking to the shop counts. Taking the stairs counts. Cleaning the house counts. Carrying groceries counts. Standing and moving during a phone call counts. A short post-meal walk counts. The 10-minute walk is powerful because it has a clear trigger. You do not need to find a mysterious moment of motivation. The meal ends and the walk begins. That simple connection makes the habit easier to remember. After breakfast, walk around your street. After lunch, walk through the building, office, garden, or hallway. After dinner, walk with your spouse, friend, children, or dog. When the weather is unsafe, walk indoors. March gently in place. Walk from room to room. Use a treadmill if you have one, but do not believe that equipment is required. Your body needs movement, not an impressive setting. Post-meal activity has been studied particularly for its effects on blood glucose, and research supports the idea that activity after eating can help reduce post-meal glucose rises, especially in people with impaired glucose control. But even beyond blood glucose, the habit solves another problem. It interrupts sitting. Many adults spend most of the day moving between chairs: a chair at breakfast, a car seat, an office chair, a sofa, a dining chair, then bed. They may complete one workout and still remain inactive during almost every other hour. The Japanese-inspired approach is to stop separating exercise from life. Movement should be scattered throughout the day. 10 minutes after 3 meals can become 30 minutes without requiring one large block of time. You may not always manage all 3 walks. That is fine. Begin with the meal after which you are most likely to sit for a long period. For most people, that is dinner. Create one rule. Before the television begins, before social media, and before settling onto the sofa, walk for 10 minutes. At first, the mind will offer excuses. I am tired. It is only 10 minutes, so it will not matter. I will exercise properly tomorrow. But 10 minutes matters because it is repeatable. A difficult 60-minute workout performed once and abandoned does less for your routine than a modest walk you can sustain almost every day. Do not begin by chasing speed. Begin by protecting consistency. Walk at a pace that feels comfortable but purposeful. Your breathing can become slightly faster, but you should still be able to speak. If you have joint pain, balance problems, chest discomfort, dizziness, or a medical condition affecting exercise, seek professional guidance and choose movement appropriate for your health. The goal is to help the body, not punish it. As the habit becomes easier, you can gently increase the challenge. Walk a little farther, add a hill, take a route with stairs. Alternate 2 minutes of comfortable walking with 1 minute at a quicker pace. Carry light groceries home. But do not allow ambition to destroy consistency. Some people begin with an extreme target. They promise themselves 10,000 steps immediately, even though they currently walk fewer than 3,000. For several days, they force the number. Their feet hurt. Their knees become sore. Their schedule becomes overwhelmed. Then they stop completely. A better approach is to build from your actual starting point. If you currently walk for 5 minutes, increase to 7. If you currently average 3,000 steps, aim for a modest increase rather than demanding perfection. The body responds to progressive challenge. It does not need drama. Walking also affects the mind. After a meal, many people continue eating because they remain near the food. They sit at the table. They see the serving dishes. They return for a second helping. Then they wander into the kitchen later for something sweet. Walking creates a clean ending. The meal is finished. The kitchen is left behind. Your attention moves away from food. By the time you return, the strongest urge for more may have passed. This becomes especially useful after dinner. Late-night eating often begins because the evening has no structure. Dinner ends, but the eating period never truly closes. A biscuit appears with tea, then a handful of chips, then something sweet during a television program. None of these moments feels like a major meal, yet together they may add a great deal. The walk creates a boundary. Dinner, movement. Then the next part of the evening. You can make the habit more enjoyable by connecting it with something meaningful. Walk while listening to calm music. Walk with someone you love. Use the time to discuss the day without phones. Notice the weather. Observe the houses, trees, lights, and sounds around you. The walk should not feel like a sentence imposed because you ate. It should feel like a transition. You are helping digestion. You are clearing your mind. You are reminding the body that the day still contains movement. There is another reason this matters after 50. Confidence can decrease when people stop moving regularly. The body begins to feel fragile. Stairs appear threatening. Long distances feel exhausting. The person avoids movement because movement feels difficult, but movement becomes more difficult because it is continually avoided. A short daily walk begins reversing that cycle. Your legs remember their purpose. Your balance receives practice. Your heart and lungs receive a manageable challenge. You begin trusting your body again. That confidence may encourage more activity in other areas. You park farther away. You take the stairs. You walk during phone calls. You choose an active weekend. The habit spreads. And that is the hidden power of the 10-minute walk. It is not only the calories used during those 10 minutes. It is the identity being created. You stop seeing yourself as someone who is trying to exercise. You become someone who moves after eating. No debate, no complicated plan, no waiting for Monday. Finish the meal, stand up, and begin. Protect your muscle instead of only trying to lose weight. The fourth habit may be the most important after 50. Many people focus entirely on becoming lighter. They watch the number on the scale. They celebrate every kilogram lost. They fear every kilogram gained. But the scale cannot tell you everything. It cannot clearly show whether the weight being lost is fat, water, or valuable muscle. And after 50, losing muscle should not be treated as a victory. Muscle is active tissue. It supports your posture. It helps you stand from a chair. It allows you to climb stairs, carry shopping bags, protect your joints, and remain independent. When muscle gradually declines, ordinary life becomes harder. The body also has less tissue using energy. This does not mean muscle magically burns unlimited calories while you rest. But preserving and developing muscle supports physical function, activity, and healthier body composition. Resistance training has been shown to reduce body fat measures, including visceral fat, while helping preserve or increase strength and lean tissue. Traditional and modern Japanese life includes many forms of low-level functional movement. Some people sit closer to the floor and repeatedly stand up. Many use stairs, walk for transportation, carry shopping, garden, clean manually, or practice simple group exercises such as radio taiso. You do not need to copy every activity. The lesson is to make your muscles participate in daily life. Walking is excellent, but walking alone does not challenge every muscle enough to preserve strength. You also need to push, pull, squat, lift, carry, and stabilize. This does not mean lifting extremely heavy weights. It means regularly asking the muscles to work against resistance. Start with the chair in your home. Sit down slowly. Stand up without using your hands if you can do so safely. That is a squat pattern. Repeat it 5 times. Rest, then repeat. For someone who has been inactive, this simple movement may be challenging enough at first. Next, use a wall. Place your hands against it and perform a wall push-up. Keep your body straight. Bend your elbows gently. Move your chest toward the wall, then push away. This trains the upper body without requiring you to get onto the floor. Use a resistance band for pulling movements. Hold light weights or water bottles. Carry grocery bags carefully. Step onto a low, stable platform. Raise your heels while holding a chair. Practice balance near a safe support. The exercises do not need to look impressive. They need to be performed consistently and progressively. Progressive means the challenge gradually increases as your body adapts. You might begin with 5 chair stands and eventually complete 10. You might start with wall push-ups and later use a kitchen counter. You might begin with very light weights and slowly increase them. You might hold a position for 10 seconds and later hold it for 20. Do not repeat the exact same easy challenge forever and expect continuous improvement. But do not increase so quickly that pain or exhaustion forces you to stop. Strength grows through a conversation between challenge and recovery. You provide a manageable challenge. The body recovers, then you provide a slightly greater challenge. After 50, recovery matters. Training every day until every muscle aches is not discipline. It may simply be poor planning. 2 or 3 brief strength sessions per week can be a meaningful beginning. National health guidance generally recommends muscle strengthening activities on at least 2 days each week, alongside aerobic activity. A session does not need to last an hour. Begin with 15 or 20 minutes. Choose movements for the major areas of the body: a squat or chair stand for the legs, a wall push-up for the chest and arms, a band row for the back, a hip hinge or careful lifting pattern, a heel raise for the lower legs, a gentle carrying movement, a balance exercise. Quality matters more than speed. Perform each movement with control. Do not throw the body through the exercise. Feel the muscles working. Breathe. Stop if you experience sharp pain, chest pain, severe breathlessness, or dizziness. People with osteoporosis, heart disease, joint replacements, serious balance problems, uncontrolled blood pressure, or other medical concerns should obtain appropriate professional advice before beginning unfamiliar exercises. Strength training is not a competition with your younger self. You are not required to prove anything. You are building the body you will need 10 and 20 years from now. There is also an emotional problem connected with muscle loss. When people feel weaker, they often reduce activity. They avoid carrying things. They ask others to complete physical tasks. They stop traveling. They spend more time sitting. This reduced activity can contribute to further weakness and make weight management more difficult. Strength training interrupts that pattern. You stand more easily. Walking feels lighter. Stairs become less intimidating. Housework requires less effort. You naturally move more because movement no longer feels so demanding. That additional daily movement may matter more than the calories used during the strength session itself. Another mistake is combining aggressive dieting with no resistance training. A person decides to lose weight quickly. They eat very little. The scale drops, but they also feel weaker, colder, more tired, and less active. They reach their target number but dislike how their body feels. Then the strict diet becomes impossible to maintain. They return to normal eating with less muscle and lower activity than before. The weight returns easily. This is why the goal should not only be a smaller body. The goal should be a stronger, more capable body with less unnecessary fat. Eat enough nutritious food. Include protein across your day. Challenge your muscles. Walk regularly. Sleep properly. Allow change to happen steadily. Forget the fantasy of losing the entire belly in 7 days. Ask a better question. Am I becoming stronger while my waist gradually becomes smaller? That is a healthier victory. Track more than weight. Measure your waist occasionally under the same conditions. Notice how your clothes fit. Count how many controlled chair stands you can perform. Notice whether stairs feel easier. Observe your walking speed. Pay attention to your energy. These signs may improve even when the scale temporarily remains unchanged. The scale can be affected by water, digestion, sodium, hormones, and many other factors. Do not let one number erase evidence that your body is improving. Two people can weigh the same and have different levels of muscle, strength, fat distribution, and physical ability. That is another meaning behind the words, same age, different waist, different daily choices. One person only tries to eat less. The other builds a body that is capable of doing more. After 50, choose strength. A smaller waist is useful, but a smaller waist attached to a weak body is not the complete goal. Build the strength to enjoy the life that improved health makes possible. Eat dinner earlier and close the kitchen. The fifth habit concerns not only what you eat, but when your eating ends. Many people eat reasonably throughout the day and then lose control during the final hours before bed. Dinner begins late. The portion is large because they have been too busy to eat properly earlier. Then dessert appears. Later, tea or coffee is served with biscuits. A television program begins, and a packet is opened. The person does not remember eating an enormous meal, yet food entered the body repeatedly from evening until bedtime. This pattern can make weight management much harder. A Japanese-inspired evening often places greater value on rhythm and separation. Eating has a beginning. Eating has an ending. Rest has its own time. Modern schedules vary, and not every Japanese person eats early or follows an ideal routine. But the principle of an earlier, lighter evening meal can be useful anywhere. Research on meal timing suggests that distributing more daily energy earlier rather than later may offer modest weight management benefits, although meal quality and total intake remain important. The first step is to stop arriving at dinner desperately hungry. When people skip breakfast, eat a tiny lunch, and survive the afternoon on caffeine, they often believe they were disciplined. But the body may collect that hunger and present the bill at night. By dinner, a normal portion feels insulting. They eat quickly, they take seconds. They search for sweets because the brain wants fast energy. Then they blame themselves for lacking willpower. The problem may have begun many hours earlier. A balanced breakfast or lunch can make an earlier, moderate dinner far easier. You do not need to force breakfast if you genuinely feel better without it, but you should observe your pattern honestly. Does delaying food help you eat appropriately later, or does it create an evening in which nothing feels satisfying? Do not follow a fashionable schedule that repeatedly causes you to lose control. Use the pattern that allows you to eat calmly and consistently. Now choose a realistic dinner time. You do not need to eat at 5 in the afternoon if your work ends late. Try to create a reasonable gap between the final substantial meal and bedtime. For many people, finishing dinner roughly 3 hours before sleep is practical, though personal schedules and medical needs differ. The purpose is not to follow an exact clock like a machine. The purpose is to stop treating midnight as a normal time for a large, heavy meal. An earlier dinner also encourages a lighter dinner. When you know the kitchen will close, you build a meal that is satisfying rather than depending on endless snacks afterward. Include vegetables. Include protein. Include a moderate carbohydrate portion. Eat slowly. Then decide that the meal is complete. This decision matters. Many evening calories enter because no conscious decision was ever made. The person did not choose to continue eating. They simply failed to choose to stop. Closing the kitchen creates that missing boundary. After dinner, clean the dishes, wipe the counter, put food away, dim the kitchen lights. Make a cup of unsweetened herbal tea or water if that suits you. Brush your teeth. These small actions tell the brain that eating has ended. Do not sit beside visible snacks. Do not keep biscuits on the coffee table. Do not leave dessert uncovered in the kitchen. Environment often defeats intention. You may begin the evening determined not to snack, but if food remains within reach for 3 hours, you must repeatedly make the same decision. Each decision uses attention. Eventually, fatigue wins. Instead, make one decision early and let your environment support it. Food is stored. The kitchen is clean. The evening has moved into another phase. Ask yourself what the evening snack is actually providing. Sometimes it is physical hunger. If you are genuinely hungry every night, examine whether dinner is balanced and sufficient. A dinner containing almost no protein, fiber, or volume may not satisfy you. Fix the meal rather than fighting hunger with determination. But sometimes the snack is entertainment. The mouth wants stimulation because the mind is bored. Sometimes it is comfort. Food becomes a reward after a stressful day. Sometimes it is habit. The television turns on, and the hands automatically search for something to eat. Sometimes it is avoidance. Eating delays the moment when you must prepare for bed or face tomorrow's responsibilities. You cannot solve every type of hunger with the same response. Physical hunger may require appropriate food. Emotional tension may require rest, conversation, journaling, prayer, breathing, or a calming routine. Boredom may require an activity. Habit may require changing the environment. Learn to identify what you are feeding. Before eating after dinner, pause for 10 minutes. Drink water. Leave the kitchen. Ask, would I eat a simple meal right now, or do I only want a specific snack? If you would gladly eat an egg, yogurt, fruit, vegetables, soup, or another basic food, you may be physically hungry. If only chocolate, chips, or biscuits seem acceptable, the desire may be more specific than hunger. This does not mean you can never enjoy those foods. It means you should enjoy them intentionally rather than using them unconsciously every night. Plan treats. Serve one portion. Sit down. Taste them. Do not eat directly from a large package while watching a screen. Pleasure becomes easier to control when it is fully experienced. Mindless pleasure often demands repetition because the brain barely noticed the first serving. Another advantage of an earlier dinner is improved sleep comfort. Large meals close to bed may cause heaviness, reflux, discomfort, or frequent waking in some people. When sleep suffers, the following day becomes harder, energy drops, movement feels less appealing, cravings may increase, caffeine use rises. The person arrives at the evening tired and hungry again. The cycle repeats. An earlier meal can help break the cycle by separating digestion from sleep. But do not turn this habit into an extreme fasting competition. Long fasting windows are not appropriate for everyone. People using diabetes medication, individuals with certain medical conditions, those with a history of disordered eating, and others with specialized nutritional needs should seek qualified guidance. The target is not the longest possible period without food. The target is a stable routine that prevents unnecessary late-night eating. Begin with 30 minutes. If you normally finish eating at 10, aim for 9:30. After several days, consider 9. Move gradually. Prepare dinner ingredients earlier. Cook enough healthy food to avoid ordering something heavy late at night. Keep emergency options available. Eggs, frozen vegetables, canned beans, yogurt, soup, or another simple meal that can be prepared quickly. Planning protects you during tired moments. You do not rise to the level of your intentions when exhausted. You often fall to the level of what is available. Make the helpful choice easy. Then create a closing ritual. Dinner is finished. Leftovers are stored. The counter is clear. The kitchen is closed. The body knows that the day's eating has an ending. That single boundary can remove hundreds of unconscious evening decisions, and when repeated night after night, it may become one of the quietest ways to change your waist. Use sleep and calm as part of your weight loss plan. The sixth habit is often ignored because it does not look like weight loss. You are not sweating. You are not counting calories. You are not preparing a special meal. You are sleeping. And yet, poor sleep can make every other habit more difficult. After a short, broken night, people often wake with less energy and less patience. A walk feels harder. Cooking feels inconvenient. Sugary and highly processed foods become more attractive. The body wants quick comfort. The mind wants immediate energy. A tired person may know exactly what to do and still struggle to do it. This is why sleep should not be treated as time stolen from productivity. Sleep supports your ability to make good decisions tomorrow. Research consistently links insufficient sleep with weight gain and poorer metabolic health, although sleep is only one part of the larger picture. Japanese-inspired evening routines often emphasize a clear transition from the active day into rest. One familiar practice is bathing. A warm bath is not a magical fat-burning treatment. It does not melt belly fat while you lie in water. But a calming bath can become a signal. The workday is finished. The body can slow down. The lights can become softer. The nervous system can begin moving away from alertness. You can create this transition even without a bathtub. Take a warm shower. Wash your face slowly. Change into comfortable clothing. Prepare the room. Lower the lights. Put tomorrow's essentials in place. Create order around the bed. The specific ritual matters less than repeating it consistently. Your brain learns through patterns. If every night includes bright lights, loud videos, stressful messages, unfinished work, and random sleeping times, the brain receives no clear signal that rest is approaching. Then you lie down and demand immediate sleep. The body is still carrying the speed of the day. A better routine begins before you enter bed. Choose a target time for sleep and work backward. 30 to 60 minutes before that time, reduce stimulation. Stop reading upsetting news. Avoid unnecessary arguments. Move work materials away from the bed. Lower the brightness of screens, or better, put them aside. Prepare for tomorrow so your mind does not repeatedly rehearse unfinished tasks. Write down what must be remembered. Once it is on paper, you do not need to hold it in your head all night. Your bedroom should not look like an office, dining room, storage room, and entertainment center combined. Japanese sleeping spaces are often admired for their simplicity. You do not need a perfectly minimalist room, but you should remove signals that compete with rest. Move the laptop, clear food wrappers, put laundry away, reduce unnecessary clutter around the bed. Keep the room as dark, quiet, and comfortable as your circumstances allow. The goal is for the bedroom to communicate one clear message. Here, you recover. Consistency also matters. Sleeping at wildly different times can make rest more difficult. You do not need to become rigid. Life includes family responsibilities, work, travel, and unexpected events. But a reasonably stable pattern gives the body something to expect. Try to wake at a similar time most days. Morning light and movement can support that rhythm. Step outside after waking. Open the curtains. Let natural daylight reach your eyes. Take a short walk. You are not only beginning the morning, you are helping prepare the body for the following night. Now consider stress. Many people carry stress around the waist in two ways. First, chronic stress may affect appetite, sleep, and health. Second, stress changes behavior. A tense person may snack without hunger. They may drink more alcohol. They may sleep less. They may abandon exercise. They may eat quickly because their nervous system believes there is no time to slow down. Then they blame their body for responding to the routine they have been forced to live. Reducing stress does not mean removing every responsibility. It means creating small periods in which the body is no longer being told that danger is everywhere. Try 5 minutes of slow breathing. Inhale comfortably. Exhale a little longer. Do not force enormous breaths. Let the shoulders drop. Release the jaw. Notice where tension is being held. Try a quiet walk without your phone. Try prayer or meditation. Write 3 sentences about the day. Stretch gently. Listen to calm music. Sit with someone who makes you feel safe. These practices do not directly burn large amounts of fat. Their value is that they make destructive coping behaviors less necessary. You are less likely to search for comfort in food when comfort already exists somewhere else. There is also a dangerous attitude that appears after 50. Some people believe poor sleep is unavoidable. They say, "I am older now, this is simply how life is." Age can affect sleep patterns, and health conditions may disturb rest. But persistent sleep problems should not automatically be accepted without investigation. Snoring, gasping during sleep, severe daytime tiredness, restless legs, pain, frequent urination, medication effects, anxiety, depression, and other issues may require professional attention. A calming routine cannot solve every medical sleep problem. Seek qualified help when symptoms are persistent or severe. Do not use sleeping pills, supplements, or large amounts of alcohol as a casual solution without appropriate guidance. The purpose of this habit is not to pretend that every sleep problem is simple. It is to protect the part of sleep that your routine can influence. Set a regular time. Create darkness. Reduce late stimulation. Avoid very heavy meals immediately before bed. Move your phone farther away. Prepare the room. Calm the body. Then allow sleep to become part of the plan rather than an afterthought. Think about how the 6 habits connect. When you sleep well, you wake with more energy. With more energy, you are more willing to walk. When you walk and train your muscles, your body becomes more capable. When your body feels capable, you are less likely to spend the entire day sitting. When you eat balanced meals slowly, evening hunger becomes easier to manage. When dinner ends earlier, sleep may feel more comfortable. Each habit strengthens the others. This is why the solution is not one secret ingredient. It is a system, a calm system, a repeatable system, a system that does not require you to hate your body. You do not need to attack your belly. You need to change the routine that has been quietly supporting it. After 50, progress may not happen at the speed promised by advertisements. That is acceptable. Rapid change is not always lasting change. Your body deserves patience. Give it weeks and months of consistent signals. Move, lift, eat with awareness, finish dinner, sleep, recover, then repeat. One peaceful day may not change your waist, but a peaceful pattern can change your life. Same age does not have to mean the same habits, the same strength, or the same waistline. Eat until comfortably satisfied, build balanced meals, walk after eating, protect your muscle, finish dinner earlier, and treat sleep as part of your health plan. Do not try all 6 perfectly tomorrow. Choose one and repeat it until it becomes normal. Then add another. Belly fat was not created in one night, and it will not disappear in one night. But your direction can change today. Start quietly, remain consistent, and let your future body reveal the power of your daily choices.